Hello and welcome back to another episode of Assetto Hub. Today we're gonna have a look at a freshly released mod by Ceky Performance, which was just released a few weeks ago and which became already one of my favorite cars or one of my favorite mods in these few weeks. I'm gonna do a little comparison to a few other cars, then I'm gonna show you my overall opinion, I'm gonna show you the features of the cars, and then I'm gonna take it to the Nordschleife to see how it's around the ring. Enjoy!
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Just open up. Don't be scared.
Well, so what do we have here? It's the Porsche Cayman GT4 RS 2022. Let's just start off with the big elephant in the room, and that is this not just a small upgrade from the Caymans, the GT4s that were already in the base game? Well, no. We'll get back to that a little bit later, why this car is so special. Because as I've mentioned as well, we already have the Porsche Cayman S made by Kunos, the 2016 version. We have the Porsche Cayman GT4 made by Kunos as well, also the 2016 version. We have the race, the track car, Porsche Cayman GT4 also made by Kunos. TGN came a few weeks ago with the Porsche Cayman GTS, also from 2016. And now Ceky Performance came with the Porsche Cayman GT4 RS from 2022. Let's just start off with a small comparison. I'm gonna compare it a little bit to the Porsche Cayman GT4 made by Kunos, as you would expect would be the closest to that one. Well, it's completely different, I can tell you that. In real life, this one has a different engine. It has the 500 horsepower 4-liter flat 6 from the Porsche GT3. And first it had a different engine, of course, engine specifically made for the Cayman itself. You will definitely notice the performance difference, as the lap time on the Nordschleife is a completely different story as well, which I will jump a little bit later on in as well. Then further on this car, outside it looks stunning. It has the carbon package, interior and exterior package. It has all the official colors made by Porsche. It has the Android Media Center in the center of the car, which with Spotify and YouTube and the stats of the car, for example, which is a great add-on. I personally prefer to have just the performance of the car, that you can put the track time, for example, or lap times, something like that would be my first choice, but it's a great add-on anyway. Then this car, when you compare it to the Porsche Cayman GT4 by Kunos, the Porsche Cayman GT4 revs up to 8,000 RPM and this one revs up to 9,000, which is a huge difference. It doesn't sound like a big difference, but it is a huge difference. Not just performance-wise, but sound-wise as well. When you step in both of the cars, you will instantly hear the difference. This one is louder inside of the car, which is very nice as well, because this one is way more track focused, of course. And then my personal favorite thing about this car is the transmission. You have two options. You can either choose the 7-speed PDK option with the pedal shifters, of course, or you choose to go manual. And I just love to go around the track and drive this car in manual. When I did my lap on the Nordschleife, I did choose the pedal shifters because you can have your hands on the steering wheel more, of course, or all the time. And with the manual you have to drive a lot with one hand, of course, because you're shifting all the time, especially on a smaller track like this. So where does this car come to life? Well, I chose the Saga Ring where we're driving on today, as I will put the link for that in the description as well. And I chose this because it's a smaller track. You have a lot of corners, you have fast corners, you have slower corners, and it's just the best to just take the car to something like this and just throw it around the track. It's a really track-based car or track-focused car, and especially with the manual gearbox, I'm just loving it to drive it. It's really different than the base game Porsche Cayman GT4. The handling as well. This car I'm driving without traction control now, and it's still really grippy. The base GT4 gets all sideways a lot quicker when you turn off the traction control, in my experience. This one you can get it sideways, but it's more difficult and you don't need to worry about it getting sideways. Now let's talk about the Nordschleife. Actually, the first thing I did with this car, I took it to the Nordschleife. I didn't take it to this track or something similar. Most cars I download, I just first test them for a few seconds on Spa in Belgium, as this is a smaller track and it loads quicker than bigger tracks. So just my laziness, let's just put it on the Spa usually, or something even smaller. Now I did put it straight away on the Nordschleife as I was just really curious. It's a smaller car, top speed is lower, Nordschleife is a very fast track, and my expectations were pretty low. I didn't drive the car yet, I was expecting just a Cayman, but it's amazing. It's on the Nordschleife. I can definitely recommend going there with this car. It handles great. It's just fast enough for the ring, because you can just throw it around the corners there. You can just keep your foot down in a lot of sections on the track, and when you're going manual or either with the other transmission, it's just a really nice car, and I really enjoy to drive it there. Now we're on the topic of the Nordschleife anyway. It's I did a few laps. I tried to search it online as well, like what are the lap times set in real life, and I found a 7.9 and a 7.4, I think it was. I will put it on the screen somewhere here. I found I did a 7.15, which is done really fast. I wasn't trying really hard as well. Because I was just having so much fun with this car, and it really puts a smile on my face as I'm driving it. The community does a really great job modding cars, and as I said before, I wasn't expecting much from this car, because with a lot of cool cars that are coming out in real life, as this car just came out in real life as well, you expect just to be all visual mods and just the outside to be bit different, and normally the inside is completely the same or just like minor changes. With this car, it's a really different story. It's a completely new car. It drives different than the base game Cayman. It sounds different, the performance is different. Outside it looks completely different with all the scoops and the carbon fiber and the huge spoiler on the back of the car, and the interior as well. As I mentioned before, it is the carbon package, and you will see the carbon just around everywhere, and that just tops it off for me. As I said before, one of my current favorite cars in the game. highly recommend getting this car from Ceky Performance, his Patreon. I will post all the links down in the description for this track and for the other cars I've driven as well. I will post the Porsche Cayman GTS from TGN, and I will post a link for the Ceky Performance for this car, as well as the track as I'm driving on and other stuff. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Stick till the end. Subscribing would be nice, or leave a comment what your opinion is about this car. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.